You will not find a better work-life balance job than private duty nursing in a person's home. Almost Nurse Abby here. This video is for CNAs. This video is for if you are a CNA and you like most of your job, as in the poop doesn't faze you, the secretions or bodily fluids you deal with don't faze you too much. You like taking care of people. You like helping people. You like the grunt work, because guys, CNAs to me have one of the hardest jobs in the hospital. It's just hard work, and it's underpaid. It's way underpaid. If you are a CNA, this video is for you, because I want to talk you into considering a job change. If you're a CNA that is burnout, tired of working all the weekends, or not getting enough vacation time, not getting paid enough, and just being asked to do more than you can reasonably do, because I do think most CNAs are asked to do more in their shift than is even humanly possible, and that's got to give you a defeatist feeling at the end of the day to know, man, I was supposed to give this many people baths or bed baths, and you know, this person really got shortchanged and didn't get as thorough of a bath they needed, or didn't get as much time as they needed, just because literally you only have so much time and energy you can put into one shift, and they give you more assignments than you can do in that shift, and I get that. At least a lot of places do. But if that's you, if you really like the job of caring for people and that, but you don't like that you're being asked to do more than you have time to do, and you maybe don't like the hours you're working, because my guess is you're in a hospital or in a long-term care facility, I want you to consider private duty nursing or private duty care in home health. And then even more than that, I want you to consider going back to school. And right now you probably don't have time to go back to school because you're working all kinds of crazy hours, and maybe you're even getting mandated to stay at the place you're at, and you're exhausted from your job, because it is exhausting if you're a CNA at a long-term care facility or at a hospital. But there are a few agencies that will take CNAs to work on private duty nursing cases. And like for ours example, Raylan can't be alone with just a CNA. She has to have a trained caregiver with her at all times. So that's either a nurse or it can be a relative. For us, it's just Chris and I that are trained to do all her care needs. Like, we know how to handle cathing her. We know how to deep suction her if needed. We can have a CNA in our home as long as one of us is in the home at the same time. And we had a CNA work in our home, and she was wonderful. And she learned so much working with Raylan, and she decided to go back to school to get her LPN while she was Raylan's caregiver. This is a flexible job. It does not pay as well as what you're making as a CNA at a hospital, probably. It probably doesn't pay as well as what you're making as a tech on a long-term care facility, but it is more flexible. You can work around a school schedule very easily. You can have your holidays off. You can have your weekends off. You won't make as much money, so maybe you need to stick with some PRN tech hours too if money is really important. But think about switching over to private duty CNA work, and then think about going back to school if you can to get your LPN, because in less than 2 years you can be an LPN, and then as an LPN you can get paid really well to do private duty nursing. In my area, they're trying to pay LPNs, this is not really well. I would say on private duty nursing cases, they're trying to pay them between $22.50 and $27.50 an hour. That's what they're trying to pay LPNs doing private duty nursing in Illinois. Rates are going up. I think soon we're going to have an agency serving our area that's going to pay LPNs $29 an hour. That's some pretty good pay. Again, for one client you're working with, one in one home, no holidays, no weekends if you don't want them. You pretty much can pick your hours. At our house, if someone awesome came and said, hey, I want to work with your daughter, what hours do you have? I mean, we have hours we would prefer, especially if they're a nurse. We want Raylan to go to school, so we're looking for someone that can work like 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. 2 or 3 days a week so she can go to school. But to be honest, and a CNA can't take her to school, but to be honest, anyone who came in and I thought would love the job, if they said, oh, that sounds good, but all I can do is 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're short hours. I'd be like, okay, you can have 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. I guess she still can't go to school, but at least I have someone helping interact with her and work with her and help her, and so that she's interacting with more people than just me, my husband, and our one nurse. So yeah, families like ours, we get what we get and we don't throw a fit. If you're a good care provider and you enjoy working with the patient, most of us families are going to be like, when do you want to work? And we're going to try to make it work. Now, I'm not going to give you my other nurse's hours. She's great and she works 2 to 3 weekdays a week. So if someone came and said, I need 5 days a week, weekdays, I'd be like, well, I already have a nurse that's working 2 of those. So when I say flexible hours, I don't mean of course, not flexible as in literally just whenever you want, but way, way, way more flexible than a long-term care facility. Way, way, way more flexible than a hospital, because we take whatever hours don't get filled. Mom and Dad, we're the ones that do those hours for her. And there's such a shortage. We just want people to work in our home who are reliable, who will do at least 1 shift a week. But it's very easy to just do this part-time if you just want it part-time, or full-time if you want full-time. And right now in Illinois, you can do overtime private duty nursing. You didn't used to be able to, but right now you can. They allow overtime if kids aren't getting their hours filled. So, if you don't have a lot of responsibilities, like you don't have kids or something, you can work 60 hours a week in home care if you wanted. One-on-one, 1 patient at a time you're caring for. If you're working nights, you're gonna have some downtime most likely. We take night nursing because Raylan's unpredictable. Some nights she needs hardly any help. Some nights we're up, 20 times. It just varies so much from night to night. But there's a good chance if you work nights with us at our house, you're going to have several hours of total downtime. That means study time if you're trying to go to school. So, and we personally would take a CNA at night. There's not a lot they're allowed to do medically, but just the fact that they can keep an eye on things and only knock on the door if we really need to do something for Raylan. Yeah, some of it's just repositioning her. Some of it's just making sure, like watching when that alarm goes off on the pulse ox. Is it going to come back up or not? Does she just need repositioned? She just need it taped on her finger better. So you can go back to school. Doing CNA work is probably a little bit harder. Now that I think about it, I don't think a CNA would be as helpful on nights as days. But you have downtime. If you're doing one-on-one private duty care for a medically complex child, you're going to have some downtime. They're going to take naps during the day possibly, or they're going to have someone coming in to work with them doing OT or PT, and you're going to be able to sit and study for a little bit. Or you're going to be following mom and dad to a doctor's appointment. Not following, you're going to be riding in the car while mom and dad take the kid to a doctor's appointment. And they're not going to be upset if you're studying for nursing exams while you're in the car next to their kid. I mean, don't totally ignore the kid, but you don't have to give your client like constant one-on-one, I'm talking to you. You can sit next to them and do hand range of motion while you're studying for a class. So if you're a CNA, if you like taking care of people, especially if you like kids, because there's a lot of kids that need private duty nursing help, consider going back to school. Consider finding a family that will let you be a CNA in their home. You will make a little bit less, maybe quite a bit less than long-term care or skilled nursing facility to do CNA work one-on-one, but you will have time to study, you'll have time to go back to school, and it's just a good opportunity. And then once you have your nursing degree, home health with 1 client pays pretty close to what you're making in the hospital long-term care facility, but 1 client, 1, guys, and you can do everything that client needs. You can give that client so much more time and attention than when you're spread out between a whole bunch of patients and you're trying to give them all that they need, but you just can't. And it's so much more fulfilling when you leave your job knowing, hey, I gave these people what they needed. I gave my patient the best care that was possible. And they didn't, thanks to bad ratios, not get everything that ideal. I don't know. I just think this is an unlooked at job for nursing. Private duty nursing is kind of considered a dead end to some people because, how are you going to move up the ladder if you just have 1 patient at a time and they're stable, they're medically complex, but they're stable and you're just not, using all your nursing skills. No nursing job uses all your nursing skills. None of them. And lots of nursing jobs only use a small amount of nursing skills. If you like it, it's the job for you. There are nurses that literally just put in IVs every day. They're IV therapy. That's all they're doing is IVs. They're not giving medications. They're just doing IVs. Is that a dead end? Not if they love the job. Not if they love the job. So if having just one client sounds ideal to you, don't worry if people say, oh, that's a dead end job. Like, if you'll like it, then do it. You will not find a better work-life balance job than private duty nursing in a person's home. Just because if you need off, I mean, we say, okay, see you when you come back. We'll miss you. We don't say you're fired. We can't afford to fire you because you need off. If you're a good nurse, we want you to come back. Have a good vacation and come back. Anyways, it's flexible. If you're a CNA, think about it. Think about becoming an LPN and getting a very stable private duty nursing job with super flexible hours with a family that will adore you. If you adore their kid and you take great care of their kid, they are going to adore you. Our nurses, we don't show them in our videos because most people don't like to be on YouTube videos, and we respect that. And so we don't talk about our nurses that much, but they're family to us. So are you burnt out? Are you tired? Do you have too many patients, CNA? Please, please, please consider coming to work in someone's home like mine and then going back to school to get your LPN so you can jump into that nursing field. We would love to support a CNA through that. We would love to support a CNA through that. We've done it once. We would love to do it again. If you have questions about what it takes to become an LPN, if you have questions about what it looks like to be a CNA in a private duty nursing home or to be an LPN in a private duty nursing home, ask questions. I'll try to answer them. If you have experience doing this, leave it in the comments below, share for other people, because I'm sure they're going to be looking in the comments. I always do for more information if I'm interested in the topic. But yeah, man, the pay bump you're going to get, the appreciation you're going to get, and the work-life balance and flexibility you will get by switching over to private duty nursing and just having one patient that you really get to know and take care of as a nurse. I think it'll be worth it. I can't imagine a CNA regretting doing that. Cannot imagine them regretting getting their LPN so that they could go into private duty nursing. And a lot of nurses don't like this job because a good chunk of it is CNA work still. And, if you work in a home and you're the only provider in that home, you are the CNA, you are the nurse, you are the teacher's aide, you are the babysitter, you are the kid's friend. Like, you play so many roles in it. And I just think good CNAs are actually really well equipped to do good at this kind of job. They're the ideal people to have working with my daughter. A really good CNA that then goes to school and gets the degree to be a LPN. To me, that's like a super ideal candidate. Are you gonna climb the nursing ladder and become, way high up nursing supervisor doing this? I don't think it's impossible with the nursing shortage today. You could move from the CNA in a home to a LPN in a home, then you could work on getting your ADN or your BSN, and then you could probably do casework supervision for other home health. And once you're doing home health supervision on cases of private duty nursing, I feel like there's a lot of room for upward mobility in the nursing field that way. So I don't even think it has to be a dead end, especially if your long-term goal is like to do case management or home health nursing supervisor. I think that this is a good transition towards stepping up to that role. First you're a CNA in a home, then you get your LPN and work with a client or two, then you get your ADN or BSN, and then you start doing home health supervision for nurses. And then if you wanted to do case management nursing or nursing supervisor, case management nursing supervisor, that's on that ladder up to that. So yeah, think about it. This is for you guys, CNAs. This video is to tell you, if you've thought about becoming a nurse, keep thinking about it. Maybe take those first steps. You can see what I did. I had to go on Portage. I have some videos about Portage. I took some prereqs before I could take my classes, but as a CNA, I think you can just probably start at your community college, getting your LPN, and then work your way up from there. And that's what I would do, because that's the quickest way to get a nurse level pay. Don't go for, personally, I would not go for a BSN or an ADN if I was a CNA. I would start at LPN and do, boom, 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 as quick as I could to get my LPN license. Get that nurse pay as fast as you can. Do the program that gets the word nurse behind your name as quick as possible. I don't care if it's licensed professional nurse instead of registered nurse. That really doesn't matter. Even if you're trying to climb up the ladder, you're going to have all those years of nursing experiences in LPN. They're going to count when you're writing your resume and trying to get that BSN supervising job down the road. If you say, 10 years as a CNA, 4 years as an LPN, 5 years as an ADN, 2 years as a BSN, that just shows dedication. If you're slowly climbing the ladder and staying in the same field, that shows dedication. So don't be afraid to get the lowest level nursing degree to start getting nursing pay. That's the quickest way. That's the smartest way. I totally think that makes sense. I have a lot of respect for the knowledge nurses have that have slowly climbed the ladder doing CNA work and then LPN and then ADN and then BSN. Like, you have learned so much when you climb the ladder slowly and you're working your way up and not just, jumping into school and coming out with a BSN but very little nursing experience, which is what I did. I mean, I because that was the quickest way to be a nurse for me. I went through a 16-month accelerated BSN program, and now I have my BSN. I'm about to be a registered nurse once I take the NCLEX. But I know that someone would be smart to hire an ADN registered nurse over me for almost anything, because they're going to have way, way, way more experience than me. It's not just about the title. It's about the experience. So, yeah, I'm rambling, but I'm just trying to say, go back to school if you've thought about nursing, or if you haven't thought about it, but you're stressed out with the hours and work-life balance. Think about private duty care, and then think about, if I have a much less stressful CNA job, do I have time to go back to school and become an LPN? Because I think most CNAs would just be great at this job. If they could get their LPN, they would just make fantastic private duty nurses. Just fantastic. And I want to see more CNAs make that jump and work in private duty nursing.